I'm Dave, this is the Cyderbaby pod, and today I'm talking to a man in Canada about his Bulgarian influence folk music metal project. So I'm going to allow the guy himself to introduce himself and the name of the band.
Yeah, hi. First of all, thank you very much for having us in your interview. My name is Stanislav Stefanovski. People often call me Stan because of this. It's more convenient for North America. The name of the band is Tsar Stangra. It's
Yeah.
a mix of heavy metal music and Bulgarian traditional or folk music. That at least that was the main goal of the project. So
Okay.
I think it pretty sums up everything.
Okay. So tell me about the band. When did it come into being itself? I mean, is this a new band you've put together, or is it something that's been going for a while?
It's something that was on my mind since my teenage years, and I played in other several bands here in Quebec City.
Mm.
And when I was confident enough with music, I teamed with my other Bulgarian friend here in Quebec. That was like in 2014, 2013, 2014, and we started doing like, all right, let's try this thing. We're gonna mix Bulgarian folk with heavy metal music because we come from a country that has like a rich history, has pagan roots and a lot of interesting subject for heavy metal, and
Mm.
it follows different musical theories. So we found it interesting to kind of promote our country in our welcoming country. So that was we started playing with this idea in mind. So officially it became a band in 2013. I already used Tsar Stangra for my personal recordings to build some kind of curriculum.
Yeah.
Uh, that I presented the curriculum to other bands here. I was like, I can sing, I can play guitar, and so I recorded just stuff. So the first demo is not has nothing to do with the rest of the uh, of our history. Yeah.
Okay. You've currently got a single out now.
Mhm.
Tell me the name of the single because yeah, I can call you Stan. I have no problem with that. But yeah, the rest of it is beyond my capabilities, I'm afraid.
No, it's not a problem at all. Don't worry. Yeah.
Carry
So
on.
the name of the single is Cherna Pesen. That means dark or black song. What we're doing more specifically to understand the single, we're gonna tell you about how we write our lyrics.
Okay.
For example, I never went to school, to any Bulgarian school. I mean, I did all my education here in Canada.
Hmm.
So I don't have the ability to properly write in Bulgarian as much as I can do in English, even though I have a French accent. And to do it in French, I have a university degree, but I never actually learned Bulgarian. So we're using poetry from our literature, and we convert them into songs. So this was Dobrin, my music partner. He came up with some riffs and we started reading stuff. I spent hours and hours to read and to find the best suitable poem for the given song. So the poem is written by Dimchu Debelanov, a well-known author in our history.
Hmm.
And it deals it's a little bit esoteric. It deals with life and death contrast and stuff like that. So we kind of romanticize around the subject of the poetry, and we have this cover with a dead Hajduk, a guy that was
Yes.
fighting against Turks, Ottoman Empire to be more precise, because
Yeah.
it's I don't want to make any historical mistakes here. And the guy, you see the dead guy lying on the ground, and you have the three colors of the Bulgarian flag. The sky is white. At the middle you have the green mountains, and below you have the blood of the guy mixed with roses. The roses are like Bulgarian national flowers.
Okay.
And you see the sky, in the skies, pagan gods are awake, are welcoming the hero to the other side. So that's
Okay.
pretty much it.
Okay. I mean, you've drawn quite extensively from pagan roots. Is that something you're going to continue with your music themes? I mean, you mentioned the poetry as well. Are you like just drawing inspiration from like older literature to try and tell your story or tell the story in a modern manner? I suppose is that what you're doing? Is that what you plan on doing?
Yeah, of course. But there's a funny part in this because most of our literature is written by Christian, by Christian authors. So we kind of course, it's art. So we kind of
Yeah.
romanticize everything. We incorporate pagan in our own way. A lot of Bulgarian people may think it's blasphemous, but hey, it's art after all. But we also managed to find really ancient translated texts, pagan texts that are in books.
Mm,
For example, there was this guy Mikhail Bashtu. He translated proto-Bulgarian stuff, poetry and stuff like that, and he translated it in Bulgarian, actual Bulgarian language. So we're kind of also using this as much as we can. We're doing research about Thracian people and stuff like that, and sometimes I build lyrics using small extracts. For
yeah.
example, I'm like, let's do a song about Thracians. So I build up with a lot of from a lot of sources. So we want to show both. We want to show the historical part because
Mm,
Bulgaria is not only this proto pagan proto Bulgarian thing. We also have like these insane occupations, for example, Ottoman Empire, Soviet Union, and stuff like that. We also want to share this part of our history, you know. So yeah, the pagan stuff is here. That's what makes it interesting. It's not
yeah.
like you go to school and you just learn like about wars and occupations and Christianity. It's more fun for a metalhead, you know, to have this epic kind of stuff. So
Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay. Well, you said metalhead. I mean, it is quite a heavy song. It does pull to your soul quite, quite well. And it is heavy metal sort of like your original force it into music, or was the folklore itself more important?
I love your question. I love your question because I was raised with heavy metal.
Mm-hmm.
My father used to listen to a lot of Iron Maiden, Dio, as
Yeah, yeah,
on your background and
yeah.
stuff like that. So mm, I'm like through the years I specialized in metal, and folk came really late. So and I have this huge progressive rock influence as well. I'm a huge fan of King Crimson, Gentle Giant, and to be quite honest, my favorite country for music is everything that comes from Great Britain. You know,
Oh, of
heavy
course.
metal, progressive rock,
Yeah.
everything there. But as as uh, an artist, like I wanted to do something more original. You know,
Yeah.
I tried to do my best to record stuff that were not heard before, because I played in several metal bands throughout the years, and we're kind of like, I realized we were doing like small bands is recreating what we like most,
Yeah.
like redoing a Slayer riff, redoing a Black Sabbath riff, redoing stuff
Yeah.
like that. So I was like, with this project specifically, I'm gonna try at least create something that was never heard before, or at least do my best. And sometimes I can listen to folk for hours,
Yeah.
Bulgarian folk, Mongolian folk, Scandinavian folk, name it. I can listen to that kind of music a lot. So I kind of uh, tried to play folkloric music, but my background is a very rock oriented. And even black metal came later in my life. I was
Okay.
more Dio, Yngwie Malmsteen, Black Sabbath, blah blah blah. You know.
Yeah. 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 I mean, yeah, musically in the business world of the music industry, the record industry or the labels are looking for something that they can sell easily, that people can pick up, whether they've heard it a million times before, or whether it's been played a million times before. You've got a very unique sound. Has that been a problem being signed or finding outlets for your music, or are you just relying on Spotify and stuff like that? Yeah. How is all that affecting your band as a whole?
To be quite honest, it's insanely difficult to get signed. First of all, and I understand them, I was like one of them before.
Mm,
Metalheads usually they see the way we dress with this white and red paint, and they're like, "What the hell is this?" Because even though they're fans of music, very often metalheads like to be in their comfort zone. You know, when they
yeah.
listen to a new band and stuff like that. And I have a lot of troubles of reaching the right persons with this project, because we follow irregular rhythms that are typical for Bulgarian folk, strange harmonies that are pretty typical for Bulgarian folk. So the traditional rocker usually looks at us like, "What the hell is this?" And I feel this reaction, and those who like it on the other side, they're like, "Oh man, guys, I never heard something like this. You should do it more exotic the next time." You know, they want it even more exotic.
Yeah.
And to be quite honest, what makes me having some sort of freedom is that as I work as an engineer, I
Yeah.
finished my electrical engineer degree, so it's easier for a guy like me to 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 risk something like that in music. If I relied on music, you know, to pay my bills, I will never play this kind of music, because it's very risky, and it's even very complicated to convince people from North America to play regular rhythms. They're like, "I have the impression you want me to play a mistake." No, it's not a mistake. It's we just follow other scales. We follow other musical theories that are not the same as the ones taught in school here.
Yeah.
So it's, to be quite honest, it's very difficult.
Well, I wish you all the best going forward. Like I said, it is a very unique sound that you've got. You mentioned Mongolian folk metal. I mean, we've all heard of the Who now, which is obviously a Mongolian folk rock based band, and they're quite commercial. But this is what you're doing is quite a couple of steps further forward to that. So you're pushing the boundaries, quite well. But do you look around and you think, oh, I don't know. All right, let me rephrase the question. You can get the areas of where you're seeing the Spotify listens, can't you? You can tell where people are picking up where you're listening to. Is it mainly Corley in Canada, or are you reaching out to Bulgaria as well, and you're reaching further afield with your music?
Of course, in Bulgaria, we succeeded reaching people. There is this underground metal scene. It's not a huge metal scene like elsewhere in the world, but there are people in Bulgaria that are buying our albums, are listening to it. We have listeners from all around the world, but it's not like millions of listeners. But I can monitor it with my stats,
Mm,
my Spotify Cyderbaby account and stuff like that. But what we're most lucky about is that we played in important festivals here in Quebec with this band. They invited us to play at the Mes des Morts festival. In this festival, you have bands such as Gal already played there, Ragnarok. The whole Quebecer metal scene, Forteresse, Monarch, and stuff like that. So you go on stage and there's 1,000 people in front, which is not bad, especially for a community like here. We don't
mm,
have a lot of people in Canada. We opened for Graveland in a town near us, because Graveland is like Eastern European, we're Eastern European, so they
yeah.
put us together. And we also opened for Arcona, the Russian band. I'm not sure if we're gonna see them anytime soon, but we were invited to play. with them as well. So they kind of help us, you know, when you have an Eastern European band, usually they're like, okay, Tsar Stangra, you're gonna be the opener. So it helps us a lot here.
Okay. Well, I won't hold you up much longer, but uh, we've spoken about like your influences and things like that. Where do you see your band heading? I mean, I know where we'd like to see it go. Obviously, you know, big arenas and loads of money, but like you said, the music industry is very, very difficult to crack. I mean, what are your goals now? I mean, have you got an album on the way? Have you got plans for more albums as well? Are songs written? You know, where are you heading?
Right now, because we faced a lineup change, it's been 6 years since our last album, or for our debut album. So right now we're finishing the pre-production of the second full-length album, and the single is just like we finally had something finished that we can show to the public. So yeah, you can expect the second album in the following months or following year. That's something we work hard on it. And of course, we're looking forward to playing big festivals, or not always just big festivals. I wanted to do because we have our own signature. So I want to do a show with more special effects like pagan rituals or something. I have a lot of ideas for the project, but who knows? It depends on where we're invited or how people are gonna react to the second full-length album, because it's way stranger than the first the debut album. We have more exotic stuff, we more complex harmonies, irregular rhythms, and this was the most commercial song we just released, you know. There are
Okay.
songs that are crazy in this album, so
Okay.
let's see.
Okay, Stan, thank you very much for your time. I wish you all the best, and I hope we'll bump into each other one day and have a good old chat.
Oh yeah, I'm looking forward to it. Thank you very much on the behalf of the entire band, and I'm looking forward into seeing more stuff that you're doing as well.